welcome back to Digital Horizons for our brand news episode this week. We're covering a BBC article, not an advertising or marketing news article. It's serious business. Facebook and Instagram launched celebrity scam ad crackdown. This is very relevant considering we just test deepfake platform that helps you create an avatar of yourself for video content creation. So Facebook and Instagram owner Meta is to introduce facial recognition technology, try to crack down on scammers who fraudulently use celebrities in adverts. So this must be happening quite a lot for them to be going to this level to try to cut it out and try to catch it when the ads are uploaded.
Yeah, it sounds like what's been happening is that people are using celebrities to endorse investment schemes and shit like that, which then people are putting their money towards because they've thought that Elon Musk or somebody is saying this is a good investment, and then people are just obviously losing, getting scammed. I think it's a really good and important step, and they're doing it on the celebrity side of things first, but I think just even for people's personal profiles, not wanting, we saw how easy it was to create an avatar of ourselves. Whilst we did have to upload our own video talking about it, I'm sure there's going to be other technology out there that is not as stringent in terms of their requirements to create these avatars and the implications that could have for just the community in general in terms of people creating content in their likelihood or likeness and then putting stuff out on social media, saying things that you never said. I mean, there needs to be something in place in the future that stops this from happening.
Yeah, and at a local level, I've heard of people like Koshi, for instance, having an avatar created out of him to promote investment or crypto schemes through to news presenters at a local level. So it's not just international celebrities. Definitely makes sense, but it's, I guess, an extension onto one of our fears when we tested HeyGen, how easy it was.
And how good it was.
Yeah,
it was barely
believable. Yeah. And as you said, HeyGen had a disclaimer system that would mean it was really difficult to create it for someone else other than the person approving it. But there's probably a lot of other tools out there that don't.
Definitely, the technology's out there. Like, people are going to be able to do it, and I'm sure if businesses can use this technology to generate money from them, then it's going to become accessible to people who are willing to spend the money to then create these avatars of other people.
So one of the drawbacks we thought of the HeyGen platform and using this as an avatar of yourself would be if social platforms started flagging AI-generated video. We're not certain from this article whether that's the plan Meta has to flag AI-generated video or to just spot celebrity faces and use the facial recognition to detect whether they're using a celebrity or not. I think we have to keep watching this space to see whether it's worth it investing in that AI video avatar side of things, because as soon as Facebook or YouTube put up a flag of an AI video avatar, all of a sudden all the marketing content you've produced is not worth anything.
That's right. I think at the moment our bigger use case for HeyGen is going to be internal training, using it for content that's not really probably on an ad level, but using it for training, case studies, all that kind of stuff that we're able to use internally within our business.
Or personalized video sent back via email to a prospect.
One-to-one marketing.
Yeah, one-to-one marketing where it isn't in a platform.
100%.
All right, second article for brand news today, just a bit of proof that social media is still really dominant in capturing our attention. Social media is gaining on television as the most popular news source. So television is still the most popular news source in 2024, but its dominance is being challenged by social media, with 1/4 now relying on social media as their main news source.
Whatever happened to that thing about the news here in Australia where the news channels decided to pull all their content because they weren't getting paid? Is that still a thing, or where did that land? I can't remember.
So if I recall correctly, there was an agreement made where Facebook was paying the local news platforms for the news being served on their platforms, or for traffic, basically, that they weren't sending their way. But those agreements came up in 2024 and Facebook just didn't re-sign them. They just went, we can do without, thanks. And so that's left the news publications scrambling because they're not getting that free money, basically, from social media.
Okay, but
payments.
They're still on the platforms, aren't they? So they're still publishing their content because they need to be now to stay relevant, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so. That's where I wasn't sure if Facebook didn't renew those agreements where they would pay Australian news publications. I didn't know if that meant that they were just going to remove articles from being served on their platforms, or it just meant there's no money going back to those providers anymore. So they made an agreement that lasted 2 years or so, I didn't think that they were allowed to just go, nah, we're not paying that anymore. But it still seems to be news on the social platforms. I just wonder if it's from less reputable, depends how reputable you consider News Limited to be, from less large sources, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, my team here, and I'm sure it's sort of probably younger people, but the only source of news that they get is from TikTok. Like that's basically, if there's something going on in the world, they're only going to know about it because it's on TikTok. And I guess that sort of is in line with what we're saying here in terms of people aren't turning on their television to find out what's on the news or listening to the radio, because we're listening to podcasts and we're watching Netflix and shit on TV. And so there's no room for news within that space, within your TV or listening or your car drive to work. So how else are you going to get that news apart from on your social media platforms?
That's right. I think it's becoming less embarrassing to say, I saw this on TikTok, rather than, pretending you read an article. It's okay to say, I saw this thing on TikTok today.
I have trouble
and still be valid.
I know, but I have trouble believing some of it, because you do hear about all this fake shit, and we know with AI generated content now. Like there was that in Brisbane just the other day, there was like a fucking tornado or something, and that I saw on TikTok, and I'm like, is this been created by like a filter or something, or is this actually happened? And it actually happened, but it makes you second guess the shit that you're seeing on these platforms, because you're just not really sure now whether it is real or not.
Yeah, that's right. Or like there was a video footage of a dam that was being built that collapsed, and saying bad, worker safety at inland from Gympie. And then someone in the comments is like, I think this was in Uganda. It's just, there is that fake stuff that pops up.
But you're not going to think that when you're watching the news. Like if you're watching the news on TV, you're not going to be like, I wonder if this is real or not. Whilst it is tailored for whatever their purpose is, it's not really, you're not going to be like, is this AI generated?
Yeah, that's right. It's just, I think the sucky thing about the news is it's full of opinion as well.
Yes.
So I miss the good old days where the newsreader was more like a robot just representing the facts. I must be getting old.
That's we both
probably
are.
What's happening. Well, that's brand news for this week. We'll be back next week with our next episode of Digital Horizons.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.